Welcome to all devotees. Now we start today's Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tata Jayam Udirat Nashta Praishu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna Dandot Pranam. Today we start new chapter of Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 11, chapter 31, the disappearance of the Lord Sri Krishna. This is last chapter. Today we completing this chapter. Shloka number 1 to 13. Shloka number 1. Sri Shuka Uvacha तत्र आगमत ब्रह्मा भवन्या च समंभव महा इंद्र प्रमुखाः देवाः मुनयः स प्रजा ईश्वराः पितरः सिद्ध गंधर्वाः विद्याधर महा उरगाः चारणा यथ यक्ष रक्षांसि किन्नर अप्सरस द्विजाः द्रष्टुकामा भगवतः नैर्याणं परमोत्सुकाः गायन्त च गृणन्त च शौर्ये कर्माणि जन्म च ववृषु पुष्पवर्षाणि विमान अवलिभिनभः कुर्वन्तः संकुलं राजन् भक्त्या परमया युताः भगवान् पितामहं वीक्ष्य विभूति आत्मना विभुः संयुज्य आत्मनि च आत्मानं पद्मनेत्रे निमीलयत् लोक अभिरामं स्वत्तनुं धारण ध्यानमङ्गलं योगधारणया अग्नेय अदग्ध्वा धाम अविशत्स्वकम् दिवि दुन्दुभयोनेदुः पेतु सुमनस चखात् सत्यम धर्म धृति भूमे कीर्ति श्री च अनु तम ययुः देव आदय ब्रह्म मुख्याः न विशन्तं स्व धामणि अविज्ञात गतिं कृष्णं ददृशु च अति विस्मिताः सौदामन्याः यथा आकाशे यान्त्या हित्वा ब्रह्ममण्डलं गति न लक्ष्यते मर्तैः तथा कृष्णस्य दैवतैः ब्रह्म उद्रादय ते तु दृष्ट्वा योग गतिं हरेः विस्मिताः तां प्रशंसन्तः स्वं स्वं लोकं ययुः तदा राजं परस्य तनो भूरुत जनन अपेया माया विडम्बनम् अवेहि यथा नटस्य सृष्ट्वा आत्मन इदम् अनुविश्य विवृते च अन्ते संवृद्धे च आत्ममहिन उपरतः स आस्ते मर्तेन ह्य गुरुसुतं यमलोकनितं त्वां च अनयत् शरणदः परम अश्रदग्धं जिज्ञे अंतकातकम् अपि ईशम् असौ Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shukdev Goswami said, then Lord Brahma arrived at Prahasa along with Lord Shiva and his consort, the sages, the Prajapatis, and all the demigods headed by Rudra. The forefathers Siddharth, Gandharva, along with the Charanas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Kinnaras, Apsaras, and relatives of Garuda, greatly eager to witnessed the departure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As they were coming, all these personalities variously chanted and glorified the birth and activities of the Lord Shauri Krishna, O King, crowding the sky with their many airplanes. They showered down flowers with great devotion. Seeing before him Brahma, the grandfather of the universe, along with the other demigods, who are all his personal and powerful expansion. The Almighty Lord closed his lotus eyes, fixing his mind within himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without employing the mystic Agneya meditation to burn up his transcendental body, which is the all attractive resting place of all the words and the object of all contemplation and meditation. Lord Krishna entered into his own abode. As soon as the Lord Sri Krishna left the earth, truth, religious faithfulness, glory, and beauty immediately followed him. Kettle drums resounded in the heaven, and flowers showered from the sky. Most of the demigods and others higher beings led by Brahma could not see Lord Krishna as he was entering his own abode, since he did not reveal his movements, but some of them did catch sight of him, and they were extremely amazed. Just as ordinary men cannot ascertain the path of a lightning bolt as it leaves a cloud, the demigods could not trace out the movement of Lord Krishna as he returned to his abode. A few of the demigods, however, notably Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, could ascertain how the Lord's mystic power was working, and thus they became astonished. All the demigods praised the Lord's mystic power and then returned to their own planet. My dear king, you should understand that the Supreme Lord's appearance and disappearance, which resemble those of embodied conditioned souls, are actually a show enacted by his illusory energy, just like the performance of an actor. After creating this universe, he enters into it, plays a with fill within it for some time, and at last winds it up. Then the Lord remains situated in his own transcendental glory, having ceased from the functions of cosmic manifestations. Lord Krishna brought the son of his Guru back from the planet of the Lord of Death in the boy's self same body. And as the ultimate giver of protection, he saved you, who also when you were burned by the Brahmashra of Ashwatthama, he conquered in battle even Lord Shiva, who deals death to the agent of death, and he sent the hunter Jara directly to Vaikuntha in his human body. How could such a personality of unable to protect his own self? Purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, Lord Krishna had previously answered the prayers of Lord Brahma and the other demigods who had requested the Lord to descend within this universe for the protection of his servants, the demigods. Now the demigods arrived before the Lord, each one desiring to take the Lord to his own planet. To avoid this innumerable social obligation, the Lord closed his eyes as if absorbed in samadhi. Srila Goswami adds the Lord Krishna closed his eyes to instruct the yogis how to live this mortal world without attachment to one's mystic opulences. All the demigods, including Brahma, are mystic expansions of the Lord Krishna, and yet the Lord closed his eyes to emphasize that one should fix one's mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead when departing from this world. A yogi empowered to select the moment of leaving his body can cause it to burst into flames by engaging in the yogic meditation called Agni. and thus he passes into his next life. The demigods similarly employ this mystic fire when being transferred to the spiritual world. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is completely different from conditioned souls like yogis and demigods, since the Lord's eternal spiritual body is the source of all existence, as indicated here by the words Lokabhiram Swatanum. Lord Krishna's body is the source of pleasure for the entire universe. The word dharana, dhyana, mangalam indicates that those trying for spiritual elevation through meditation and yoga achieve all auspiciousness through meditation on the Lord's body. Since yogis are liberated simply by thinking of Lord Krishna's body, that body is certainly not material and therefore not subject to burning by mundane mystic fire or any other type of fire. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reminds us of Lord Krishna's statement in the 11th canto, chapter 14, verse 37. Vanni madde smeared rupam mamaite dhyana mangalam. Within the fire, one should meditate upon my form, which is the auspicious object of all meditation. Since Lord Krishna's transcendental form is present within fire as the maintaining principle, how can fire affect that form? Thus, although the Lords appear to enter the mystic power, mystic yoga trance, the word although Adabdha indicates that the Lord, since his body is purely spiritual, bypassed the formality of burning and directly entered his own abode in the spiritual sky. Thus, point has also been elaborately explained by Srila Goswami in his commentary to this verse. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, all the demigods were jubilantly because each one thought Lord Krishna was coming to his own planet. The sudden movement of a lightning bolt are seen by demigods, but not by human beings. Similarly, the sudden departure of the Lord Krishna could be understood by the Lord's intimate associates in the spiritual sky, but not by the demigods. Although the demigods are virtually omniscient within this universe, they could not understand the moment of Lord Krishna's mystic potency. Thus, they were astonished. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the so-called fight among the members of the Yadu dynasty are actually a display of the pastime potency of the Lord. Since Lord Krishna's personal associates are never subject to ordinary birth and death like conditioned souls. This being the case, certainly the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself is transcendental to material birth and death, as clearly stated in this verse. The word natasya of an actor or magician is significant here. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells the following story of a certain magician who exhibits the trick of dying in front of a great king. A magician approaches a stack of valuable garments, jewels, coins, and so forth, all placed there by the king. Taking a jewel necklace, the magician tells the king, "Now I am taking this necklace and you can't have it." And he makes the necklace disappear. "Now I am taking this gold coin and you can't have it," he says, and makes the gold coin disappear. Next, challenging the king in the same way, the magician makes 7,000 horses disappear. Then the magician creates the illusion that the king's children, grandchildren, brothers, and other family members have attacked each other and that nearly all are dead from the violent quarrel. The king hears the magician speaking and at the same time observes this thing taking place before him as he sits in the great assembly hall. Then magician said, O king, I no longer wish to live, just as I have studied magic. So also, by the mercy of the lotus feet of my guru, I have learned the mystic meditation of yoga. One is supposed to give up one's body while meditating in a holy place. And since you have performed so many pious activities, you are a holy place yourself. Therefore, I shall now give up my body. Thus speaking, the magician sits down in the proper yoga posture, fixes himself in pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi, and becomes silent. A moment later, a fire generated from his trance blazes forth out of his body and burns it to ashes. Then all the wives of the magician, distraught with lamentation, enter into that fire. There, 3 or 4 days later, after the magician had returned to his own province, he sent one of his daughters to the king. The daughter tells him, "O king, I have just come to your palace, bringing along with me invisibly all your sons, grandsons, and brothers in good health, along with all the jewels and other items given by you. Please, therefore, give me whatever you consider fitting remuneration for the wisdom of the magic that has been exhibited before you. In this way, even by ordinary magic, one can stimulate birth and death. It is not difficult to understand, therefore, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although transcendental to laws of nature, exhibit his illusory potency, so that ordinary fools will think the Lord has left his body like a human being. Actually, Lord Krishna returned to his abode in his own eternal body, as confirmed throughout the Vedic literature. To mitigate his own and Parikshit Maharaj distress at the narration of Lord Krishna's departure from this world, Sri Shukdev Goswami here gives several clear examples proving that Lord Krishna is far beyond the influence of death. Although the son of Lord Krishna's spiritual master, Sandipani Muni, had been taken by death, the Lord brought him back in the same body. Similarly, the power of Brahmana cannot touch Lord Krishna, since Parikshit Maharaj, though burned by the Brahmashra weapon, was easily saved by the Lord. Lord Shiva was clearly defeated by Lord Krishna in the battle with Manasur, and the hunter Jara was sent to a Vaikuntha planet in his same human body. Death is an insignificant expansion of Lord Krishna's external potency and cannot possibly act upon the Lord himself. Those who actually understand the transcendental nature of Lord Krishna's activities will find convincing evidence in these examples. Om Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guroho Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi पाश्चात देशतारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभे च कृपा सिन्धुभे एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam. We today start new chapter, chapter 31, the disappearance of the Lord Krishna. We try to understand from shloka 1 to 12. In this chapter, describe the return of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to his own abode, along with his Yadus, means members of the Yadu dynasty. And from this, they nicely explain. And here Shukdev Goswami told about this whole whole condition, how Lord enter to the his own abode, and how they achieve uh, extra, others also achieve their path. They're describing in this nicely. Prabhuji will tell you in detail. Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhya कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हरे कृष्ण दंडवत प्रणाम.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, the return of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to his own abode, along with all the Yadus. So, this is what we are seeing here in 31st chapter, titled The Disappearance of Lord Krishna. So, upon learning from Daruka that Krishna had returned to his abode, Vasudeva and all the others remaining in Dwarka became very much agitated by lamentation and went out from city to city to find him. All the demigods, in pursuance to that desire of Lord Krishna, had taken birth in the Yadu dynasty to render assistance in his pastimes. So they also followed Lord Krishna and returned to their respective abodes. Lord's activities of creating a life for himself and then dismantling it are simply tricks of Maya, just like an actor's performance. Actually, he creates the entire universe and then he enters within it as the super soul. In the end, he again winds up the entire universe within himself and remaining in his private glory, desists from external pastimes. So Sukdev Goswami ji is explaining all this to all the assembled munis and specifically to Parikshit Maharaj, that even Lord Brahma and Shiva, the sages, Prajapatis, all the demigods, Indra, everyone arrived at Prabhas. And they greatly were eager to witness the departure of Krishna. As they were all coming on, every one of them was chanting and glorifying the birth and activities of Shauri. So many airplanes were there that the whole sky was crowded and everyone was showering flowers with full bhakti. So Krishna, he saw before him Brahma, the demigods, who he knew are his own personal powerful expansions. So seeing all of them, Krishna immediately closed his eyes, fixing his mind within himself. So without applying the Agneya meditation to burn up his body, Krishna entered into his own abode. So if you see, the transcendental body of Krishna is the all attractive resting place for all the words and also an object of all contemplation and meditation. But Krishna simply entered his own abode. And as soon as Krishna went, truth, religion, faithfulness, glory, beauty, they also went behind him. There were kettle drums which were resounding in heaven and flowers being showered from the sky. Most of the demigods, led by Brahma, they could not see Lord Krishna as he was entering his own abode because Krishna never revealed his movements. But some still caught a sight of him and they were amazed. Now, if the example which is given here is very apt and important to understand. Whenever there is lightning, the moment it leaves the cloud, no one can predict where the lightning will fall, what will be the path. Similarly, the demigods were not able to trace out the movements of Krishna as he went back to Goloka. However, Brahmaji, Shivji, they could understand and they could ascertain how Krishna's mysticism was working. And so they became more astonished. And all the demigods kept on praising Lord's mystic power. And then finally they also returned to their own app. So this is a very important story wherein we need to understand about Krishna's appearance, disappearance. So though it may look like it is just like a Baddha Jiva, but it is something which is enacted by his illusory energy. So after creating the universe, he enters it, plays for some time, and then winds it up. He always remains situated in his transcendental glory. And we have a very good example, which is coming up, of how Krishna brought back the son of his guru from the death planet in the same body. So he's the ultimate giver of protection. He has protected us all the time, and he has especially protected Parikshit Maharaj when he was burned by Brahmastra of Ashwatthama. Krishna conquered in battle even Lord Shiva, who deals death to the agents of death. And Jara, as we saw in the previous chapter, was sent directly to Vaikuntha in the human body. So it is a paradox that someone thinks that Krishna could not save himself, but that is not a fact. Krishna created this whole thing just to make us understand. Hare Krishna. Please repeat after me.